Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Crusader Kings 3, the Normandie series here on the Lord Master channel. And as you can see, we are now the Empire of Britannia. Not quite like the British Empire, but we're still working on, getting parts of Scotland and the Hebrides. And we do have a bit of the Northern Isles as well. Well, which does, have vassals of mine. And eventually I look forward to taking, Iceland sooner rather than later. But if I was to find the next war, it's the independent earldom of the Outer Hebrides will be next. And then we'll get all of Scotland and create the kingdom title of, and then I'd be the undisputed ruler of Britannia. And of course we'll get that little part for France, which we've never really, allied with them. Plus it's ruled by a different house now. Uninvolved in the Iberian struggle because they do have a foothold down there. And I don't want to get involved in that mess either. So yes, there will be a war between Britain and France one day, just not now. And since I am recently crowned Empress, I am Empress Alice the Scholar. 68 years old and I'm in very good health, believe it or not. I mean, I highly doubt that I'll be the next Stephanie. But at least I'm doing well. And, so you got King John, who is unlanded, but he will be the future King of Wales when he settles down. Husband's still alive and still ruling that duchy of Armagnac down there in the south. And then there's, of course, King Roger of Serbia, who recently started a war against Croatia for the De jure County War for the county of Pomorie, which is down there, so that way it can connect Serbia to the sea. And of course, the connector of us, from Britannia. Though I cannot intervene unless Byzantine Empire attacks, then I'd be willing to intervene. And I see you committed adultery, but nothing I can do about that. That's out of my hands. And he's also the heir to the Kingdom of Ireland. And there's one thing I forgot, one little detail regarding Serbia. Serbia is an administrative realm at large. The only thing that's feudal is Roger himself. I'm surprised he hasn't called himself, king, magistrate or whatever. I mean, he works in administrative government. And even begs the question, would administrative be good for Britannia? I mean, I don't think so. It would be, very odd. And governors and such. So we can grant Winchester a charter fair. Well, because we have guilds and urbanization. And no one in the world will easily take a decision good. And all that. And also I have an oath to shape the realm. I will reshape all of Britannia in my image, leaving a lasting legacy in stone and mortar for generations to come. So you have to construct or upgrade at least 8 buildings. Which is easy. Take that off since I'm never going to do that. But I'll be sure to do that. But first we got some land to give away. Some of which I inherited, like Buckhamstead. That needs to be granted to this one a Hindu friend of mine, the Shavite Sogdian. Hertfordshire is yours. So yeah, he's still traveling his way back. Then once he's in London, then so you know the Mazaban of Hertfordshire is a ruling Hindu. And in addition, that you're a good friend of mine, I will give you the directive to convert the faith, try to spread, you know, Shaivism in the land, which is something that was been an ongoing process. As odd as it sounds, but that's none of my business, that's his. And I'll be sure to go inspect that as well, about the control, unless you want to, you know, restore that, which is an ongoing process. Something to do in future. And this island, we need to send an English person up there. Hospital Mount. Ah, granddaughter. That's just to make them, you know, involved in the colonization of Greenland struggle. Though I do want York for myself, which I'm going to get that line off of it sooner rather than later. Though that should be alright. Let me look at titles. Oh, Dorset. I believe that belongs to Wessex. Look at you, leper. The age of 23, that's unfortunate. Yeah. It's the enduring part of Wessex. While the Prince Bishopric of Somerset is still around. Now, next, we're gonna do the expedition to Greenland. First, support Greenland. Resilience has been getting up there, and so has networks, so. Construct church. Increases the bonus of sending close family or courtier to settle in Greenland. And now send an expedition to the west. To Helluland. Needs more networks. Who would be most qualified? I'll have to think it over. In other words, I need an all-rounder. Some of all skills. Hey, how would you? Must not be traveling. Earl Demetershire and Staffordshire and all that. Is not heir to any title. Well, John will be most likely. Say, John, how would you... Where the hell are you people? Well, they're all still traveling because I travel fast, you know. So y'all better catch up. Typhus. If he survives typhus, so unlikely. And intelligent. Oh, come on in. You seem to be interested. I'll teach you the works. Where are you, by the way? Okay, but remember, you got a few months. Oh, and another thing. Since you're going to be building buildings, this is where we station our spearmen, so I thought it would be high time to build up the... Oh, jeez. This is where you station your spearmen, so build barracks. That's one. Upgrade that. Again, nothing really costs much. There's still a lot of room. And of course, got to save up a large amount of money for the London Bridge. That's to come. How much is it? 75. Well, let's grant Winchester a charter fare as well. It's recently granted charter fare. It's +1 diplomacy and +2 stewardship. Especially diplomacy is needed. Hampshire will be granted the charter fare of Winchester. That's a permanent modifier. Held in September. See that it's done. The local burghers and less nobility of Winchester have been clamoring for the settlement to be granted the right to hold a grand charter fair for some time. I decided to grant them such a privilege. From now on, every year around September, the town shall hold one such fair. No ordinary market fair for sure, but one of substantial scale. This should boost the local economy considerably. So, once Stamford, Boston, Winchester, and Northampton have been all granted charter fairs, a special event will randomly trigger sometime later and upgrade their county modifiers. I don't know how much we've, done all that as of yet. But it'll come up eventually, they say. Why not? Let's hold court, because I've been ignoring that for years. Since I was actually coming, I may consider upgrading that as well. But first things first. A foreign guest approaches my throne live programs. It has been a while since I arrived at your court. I've carefully observed how you rule and address realm matters, both small and grandiose, and I've been nothing but deeply impressed. Among the Bulgarians, there's an old tale of a legendary ruler from a distinguished dynasty. It is a story that my mother told me when she was young. She heard it first from her mother, oh, so long ago. And now I have a great pleasure to tell you that I think you are the legendary Empress of Bulgaro legends, and believe that any true son of Bulgarians surely would agree with me. Bulgaro? Bulgarian. Mighty endeavor, great deed. I mean, it's a bit out there. Connection between us and the Bulgarians. Yeah, given, our great ancestor Rollo, he came from Scandinavia. With allegedly Bulgarian ancestry. I mean, you're making up fringe stuff, but you get the idea. So I'll say yes, your elders spoke about the Normandie. I'm just throwing it there, but I don't know if I will commit to forming legend, even though it's definitely affordable. Remarkably disgruntled Duke John hurries with her. Liege, I have the right to the County of Sama, no matter what anyone wants to say. Will you support my claim and have your vassal Duke Adam relinquish what does not belong to him? John of Brittany. Some more. Let me see. Where is Samoa again? In Brittany? Samoa. That's Samoa. And this belongs to how? I have to say, I do not interfere in such things. That's in our southern border. So far away from my concerns. The whole throne falls silent as my uncle Duke Caddock of Cornwall enters triumphantly, followed by two strongest servants are dragging a chained boar. Smiled proudly. Caddock exclaims, Your Majesty, I present you a gift worthy of the mightiest ruler in the world. This magnificent beast was hunted in the forest of Cornwall, and now I offer it to you as a symbol of my devotion and your unparalleled power. Indeed, a mighty beast for a mighty ruler. After all, I am crowned Empress. The court graduates jump all the way up, but it will go down with time. Just want to have a look at that. Yeah, it's definitely affordable. Stylish, fashion. Decent food to lavish food. Feast activities reduce more stress, increase more fertility, and life expectancy. Some servants. Guests will be cheaper. Piety goes up. Yeah. Many lodgings to spacious lodgings. Guests are more likely to stay longer and acceptance to join my schemes. Further increases. Has a chance of improvement. Decent chance of improvement. Less than. Ah, damn. Okay, what about all the way? I mean, after all, we are upgrading buildings big time, so the tax cost is definitely going to be going up, so why not? Do it all the way. All the way. Shall be the grandest court in the world. Just look at the court languages. Yeah, it does really good. So we're still using the French as the court language per habit. I'll be waiting for your arrival, John. Because once you arrive, I will ship you out. Ship you out. Just put you on the expedition, so please hurry. Oh, damn. That's the second time that's happened to me. Roderick. Like that name. Okay. How do you feel about going to the expedition? You might accept. Okay, I'll pay you extra. Operian. This is a hook you will accept. Because you got the skills, you have what it takes. I don't give a damn about your cravenness. You're going out there. Well, meanwhile, I'm going to send somebody out of my country. For those who are bold. And is not heir to any title. Fewer. Oh, God, I'd send you out. An intelligent man, you say? Oh, get in here. I could probably just sacrifice one of my knights. to go to Greenland. Go up. We can always get more knights, you know. And Tarquin's on his way there. Lady Maria Podrinia. So that's why he committed adultery. Because of her. Again, English-Serbian business. None of mine. He had a delay. The market reeks, but one stall smells oddly pleasant. Fresh hatchets, best herbs, merchant calls, the pressing of hatchet in my hand. Keeps Sylvie's boils at bay. It does smell promising, but the price is steep. One couldn't hurt. The satchel of fragrant herbs is care to keep some personally, not actually protect them against disease, but makes them feel, makes them those feel nearby feel safer. Of course, the Pomeranian connection. Okay, now that you're there, I'll get to you in a moment. What is that? In-depth guest? Have your servants testify when the expenses that caused during his stay, and then offer them a way out. That's just to get a hook on him, just for no apparent reason? Okay. I didn't think that option was there. Veteran soldiers. We need someone like you in our ranks. Now, inspection. Why don't you go help Beckhamstead? Just wanted to help out under control. Just for a little bit. And after that, go on a pilgrimage to Croagh Patrick. You know, watch this for the best. Look, arbitration. Hampering corruption. I'm here to improve the bureaucracy here because Lord knows you might need it. 1 second. It may take years because of various reasons. Bad harvests. Trying to root out the corruption there. While at the same time, you are trying to spread a bit of Hinduism out there. Alright, John. Good luck. Out here to find yourselves some poachers, are you? Ragged looking hunter yells at us as we approach this small camp during the surveys of the hinterlands of Herefordshire. Plenty to be found, even if it ain't real royal land. Here it's every woman for herself. If you want to stick your claim on these lands, you need someone who could show up in your name regularly, if you know what I mean. This is a wink before she bites a chunk of the grilled meat. A group who could show that everyone here that the land really belongs to me, then it's not such a bad idea. I shall hire the guards to get patrol the hinterlands. Messenger Bird makes a message from John with an update about his expedition to Ireland. Apparently, according to his message, John found what looked like to be a promising harbor to anchor their ships. They scarcely could approach the coastline when many arrows flew out of nowhere at them. The crew immediately rushed to leave the harbor. Fortunately, John says they didn't have many serious casualties. Due to the frantic sudden nature of the ambush, John's crew only managed a few glimpses of their attackers. There are conflicting reports of what those attackers look like. For example, some of the crew claimed that these attackers were strange, one-legged beings who hopped around swiftly. Others said the crewmates misinterpreted their fierceness of clearly human foes in the heat of the moment. Why are those attackers really seem dangerous? Damn, bad outcome. Again, that's all about luck. It's a roll of the dice, you know. Local garrison has been struggling as of late down there. Successful reallocation. A bit more control growth there. Merchants have the right of it. Invest in guilds, more development. You got it. Expected taxes, development growth, more control. Just something to help you out, okay? Construction's going up. I'm gonna go meditate. Need something to do to stall for time. Meditate in seclusion. I'm going to the remote mountains of over there. Bring knights with you if you're going to do any of that training to prepare for future conflicts up north. Thomas, train up. Alright, now I'm in meditation. Just stalling for time to let the wealth accumulate. A raid, that's pretty rare. 5, 6. One second. Member of my dynasty of House Anjou. Alright. Come on in. Alright. A messenger bird brings you a message of John with an update about this expedition to Holy Land. In the course of the expedition, John says they were slightly blown off course and ended up what seemed to be an unknown coastline at first. However, soon everyone started to recognize the geographical features as they correspond with the description of the location mentioned in the legend about the voyages of an earlier explorer. Because the legend was somewhat vague about what this area was like, John thought this was an excellent opportunity to ascertain whether the accuracy of the geographical details in the legend to map out the area and help future sailors and explorers travel in the region. On the other hand, they might not discover anything worth noting down, as the legend was clearly sufficient of helping them navigate this area. I imagine you want to investigate the area. I continue reading the message. After spending a couple of weeks investigating the area, John discovered that while the legend wasn't inaccurate, after all, it's how to recognize geography of this location in the first place. He was missing some other information. Perhaps the previous explorer did not venture too deeply into this area, or perhaps due to the legend being vague in some parts. Certain details were left out. John and the crew took careful notes about the area's geography and other details such as the wildlife and plants living there. It is his hope that their discoveries will supplement the information already found in the legend. Great work exploring the area. Good outcome. So it could go either way. And after my meditation, I will do that little pilgrimage of Croagh Patrick. Also, that legend. Mighty endeavor for the Normandie. That's a legitimizing legend. And it's all the other things. So this is actually rather generic. Legitimizing legend. That's what it is up there. All because some Bulgarian said it. They gained the court trait valued administrative courtier. Much better. So even if you are a man of intrigue, but you could also have some stowage along with that. Everybody's a veteran traveler. Okay. Sickly. But we're improving your prowess because we're gonna make you a man. A man with strength. Who are you? Well, he's a stupid one, but he only understands his sword. Start over. I really wanted to learn that language of the Pope. A Mr. Byrne reads a message from John with an update about the expedition. John says that the expedition is going well. Nothing significant has happened, in a good way. He and the rest of the crew are currently resting in a rather peaceful location and making note of various kinds of wildlife and plants that grow there. It is his hope that this information might be of use to us, or at least to the other explorers in the future. Good outcome. So, this will definitely be a success. Thin mountain air cleared my thoughts, and as I focused on isolated far away in the wilderness, I found that the troubles which had burdened me at court no longer had any weight for them. For the first time in far too long, I was at peace. This experience will stay with me forever. The ghosts had together. As my party traverses the hilly terrain of Gwynedd, Thomas accidentally stumbles upon a ghosted stone circle. A group of Welsh bards, scholars, and local leaders are gathered in a circle, deep in discussion. They notice my presence and invite you to join. The Ghosted, as they call it, is a gathering of the wise and influential of the region, discussing matters of importance. They offer you the opportunity to participate and chance to gain their trust and learn about the local issues. I'd be honored to join you, but of course that 100% chance successful exchange. My words resonate with the gathered wise ones. They appreciate your insights and knowledge. Then I'll get the ghosted stone, a small stone from the circle, symbol of wisdom and leadership at Gwynedd. Put out that damn fire. Rosebe. Guide gout ridden. Take the other guy. Ah, yes. Success. So, we gained Piety, We gained some networks. Alright. Much better. That's what I like to see. Color me intrigued. Another health boost. I'm gonna be around throughout my 70s. Unless I become infirm, of course. I'm already an administrator. I figured I could switch out now, so demand payment for hooks. If you're in desperate of gold, you can always get them all. Oh, what to do, what to do, what to do, what to do. Again, you're gonna be around for a while. I'm an overseer. I'm an inspector. Maybe perhaps be a wayfarer. Or do these. I mean, you can just buy claimants instead of forced vassalization and all that. Not looking to have a longer life. I'm not going to be the next Stephanie. I mean, honestly, I don't know what to pick for the lifestyle. Unless you want to be avaricious. I'm not a sadistic character, so there's no reason for that. I mean, I've done a bit of scheming here and there. Why not? Let's go for intrigue. Intrigue is that one skill that's she had some prior experience for it, but now couldn't do that. Show me all your work yards. You know, honestly, if I were to die right now, I wouldn't be too mad. Heresy. Cane Knights in Polania. What the heck? It's a duelist faith. What twisted of a mockery of our faith is this? This just popped up in the middle of Poland of all places. Now, this is a duelist faith. Cain was the first victim of the evil of the image. The creator of all physical matter. Since matter or bodies are evil, bodies must be defiled and destroyed through sinfulness, so that the true human soul which within can be freed. So, what that has esotericism, reincarnation, and they're hedonistic. They're equal. Prayer as purification. They're pluralists and polytheists. So that means, yeah, they'll get along with pagans, if any. Same-sex relations, deviancy, adultery, and witchcraft are accepted, but dynastic inslate's criminal. No bastards. Clerical marriage is allowed, and genders eaters, burial, anointment permitted. Gnosticism. Well, you're gonna see that just like what it's seen as What? You have become the patron of monotheism? Who's your guardian? What made her convert to that faith? Because now you got a heretical kingdom, although it's not quite fully heretical as far as number of individuals there. But holy crap. But the holy site of Lon, it's still in Catholic hands. It's still in good Catholic hands. Don't make us come over there and do a crusade on you if the Pope says it's a scare him into converting, maybe. Now you're going to see the spread of that faith. Watch. You know I'm too old to have children, right? Celestia, the Duke of. See where the Canaanite faith is spreading? Nikolai brought my ward Catherine to the market today. Catherine was to hand out alms to the poor and needy, to learn about the charity and the ruler's plight to the less fortunate. The scattered brain child couldn't decide who to give the gold to, Nikolai says, visibly annoyed. At the end, I give her one coin to the one-legged scholar, one to the blind urchin, and used another coin to buy an apple tart. Gave one to me of all people, and lost the last one in a ditch. Seems that little Catherine's quite unable to make up her mind. Calm, ambitious. Is generous virtue? No. I mean, after all, she's lowborn. I said, no, you must care for the poor. I am judged harshly for my hospitality towards at all the criminal, who was avoided by almost everyone on their account of their wicked faith. My failure to condemn or continue proxy to this irredeemable fiend precedes open tolerance, tarnishing my court's reputation in the eyes of the clergy and people. They forced my hand. Now I must decide whether my followers comes outweigh my effects for him. Surely something must be done. Our Courtiers really that hard to replace. It is not my place to judge. Scared does nothing to bring criminals in their own court justice. They have their uses after all. It's Christians with different faith opinion. But again, Alice is well known to be having open-minded towards other faiths and is actually tolerant of heathens. Well, just be glad that the King of Poland... Oh, no, no, no. Look. The heir to Poland is the heretic. And Henrik is old. When he dies of old age or some other thing, you're going to see two different heretical kingdoms. I mean, Bavaria is not quite a fully heretical as... I mean, I don't know what caused it to turn to that faith. But we know that most of the vassals are still Catholic, so they'll be ready to overthrow her if this were to be the case. And if Poland's king, and then we have a new king, who's Kingite, then we got a different affair. And Serbia is winning. So that way, once they get that county, they have a connection to the sea. Instead of being isolated from the rest of us in Britannia. Because one can't be landlocked forever. I just realized how much money we have that we should Recently, the donkeys bred in Oxfordshire have gained a reputation for being a reliable and capable beast of burden, even when compared to the other donkeys from elsewhere. Thanks to long-term efforts by the commoners there, some people may look down on donkeys for being less elegant and less majestic than the horse, but only a fool would deny their usefulness. At any rate, thanks to this reputation, merchants are even exporting a decent number of these donkeys to faraway lands. Let's hope these donkeys will serve us well. So, we got donkeys. You know what? I'm willing to open my purse for these. Purchase these dependable donkeys. We've seen this, how this is done before. +4 martial, +4 stewardship, and prestige up. Remember, 60 is the number that needs to get up there for the development. We have hoardings now. One of my guards seemed to be in an unusually good mood today. When I asked him why, he paused for a few moments, unsure what he wanted to tell me. Eventually, he admitted it's because his father passed away. I'd known for a long time that my guard and his father had never been on the best terms, and his father, while not an outright villain, was a caustic, rageful, and very unlikable person who gives a lot of grief and stress. Still, to feel joy over the death of one's parents, is such a thing even appropriate? He was a good father, yes, but let's show him some more respect. Hoardings. Which means, yeah, we got that known through current spread. The Castle Baileys is the one I want next. So we can have high medieval era military buildings. Further upgrading. Which means we have the ability to build this. And it doesn't cost much. So let's get to work. It's spring. It's time to do that pilgrimage. From one of the earliest episodes of the Normandie series, I tried to do that as a Landis character, but it wouldn't let me. Because, you know, it requires, you know, you hold the title of Erodom of Male, which I do, but I'll give it back. This is the reason why I'm a bit over the limit, which I'll want to give away. Because I wanted to do this event for once, just to show you people, show you viewers of what this is like. The mountain of Croagh Patrick is one of the most popular pilgrimage sites in Ireland due to its association with the island's patron saint, St. Patrick. It's one of those pilgrimages, much like with this one. So, for historical context, Croagh Patrick was largely already seen as sacred since the Neolithic era. Since Christianization, it has been strongly associated with the famous St. Patrick, who was said to fast for 40 days at its summit, akin to Moses, who spent 40 days on Mount Sinai. Even today, pilgrims travel here annually, trying to climb the mountain, especially on Reek Sunday. Acts of devotion. More piety, so I could spend that piety to buy claims. Speaking of getting more piety, venerated local shrines for that. Taking the overland route. Development progress. Renown. More piety, I'm all about piety. Ready? Let's move on. Ireland is an island filled with many sacred sites, but one of the most popular is Croagh Patrick, a mountain where St. Patrick himself fasted 40 days of summer. Despite the dangers they face in doing so, the pilgrims have climbed the mountains, sometimes even barefoot, for centuries now. Today, I begin my journey to that mountain to do the same. May St. Patrick protect me. Not a day goes by in St. Albans when I don't run into a fisherman who has a new piece of information to give me, whether on the type of bait to use, or where to fish, or even how to prepare the fish once they are caught. I ever get the chance to fish myself, with the fishermen showing me the tips and tricks. They all applaud when I finally catch one. Dexterous fisherman. What if we applied these fishing tactics to seafaring? Far and wide. Told the peasants I'm the Empress. Have it. One Piety. Come on in, Marty. Gospels. The holy island Lindisfarne rises from the green waters of the North Sea, accessible only at low tide. Our party has the time of the crossing well. Now you stand before the monastery that produced some of Christendom's greatest treasures. A monk approaches with extinct fingers, weary but kind eyes. Travelers, you come at an auspicious time. We are prepared for the new copy of the Gospels. Now as grand as the original, lost to the Vikings, but faithful to its spirit. Would you care to see our scriptorium? That catches our breath. The Lindisfarne scriptorium, where it created illuminated gospel centuries ago. It's a rare honor. No gospels survived Viking raids? Tell me those times. The monk speaks of the terrible raids of monks fleeing with precious relics, of the long wandering before the community could return. Its story faith tested and proven, with treasure saved through sacrifice. I understand now why these books matter so much. The echoing call of horns fills the ears as we traverse the hills near Cumberland. The hill forts resonate with the sound of arms sounded through generations. Mere seconds after the first swing, a throng of garrisoned Cumbrian warriors emerged on a close fortification, charging a group of terrified highwaymen and bandits. I don't have the prowess like I used to. But at least we gotta help them. Killed all the bandits. Come on, I gotta get moving. Let's hope it's a good omen. I know cures, like the back of my hand. Here we are. Yeah, never done this before. This is the first time reading all this text. The base of the mountain. Praise to God! Like many before me, I have at last reached the base of the great Croagh Patrick, where St. Patrick himself fasted for 40 days as a summit, like Moses on Mount Sinai. While I rest down here tonight, tomorrow I'll start the arduous trek up the mountain. Traditionally, many pilgrims have gone up the mountain barefoot to test their strength and zeal, as well as an act of penance for their sins. I'll make my way up the mountain barefoot. My feet are tired from climbing up the rocky side of Croagh Patrick for what seems like hours. I'm not the only one. Countless other pilgrims around me are doing the same. Regardless, on a checkup, we pass by many ancient stones and cairns, like St. Patrick's Chair, some with carvings made by those who came here before us. When I stop by one such stone, the rest, I say prayers to St. Patrick. What is St. Patrick's Chair? St. Patrick's Chair, or the Overhaul stone, is a large stone located close to the old mountain and pilgrimage site of Croagh Patrick in Ireland, which contains various petroglyphs and man-made symbols on it. It may have been carved during the Neolithic era, and is one of the most remarkable examples of prehistoric or ancient monuments dotted the landscape around the mountain, proving the era's spiritual importance long before Ireland's Christianization. Twice a year, if one stands by St. Patrick's Chair, the sun, when setting, appears to roll down the shoulder of the mountain, which may explain why the stone originally carved or placed at its current location. Let's keep going, just a little more. Our feet endured much, and anchored with seemingly no reprieve. We reached the summit of Croagh Patrick. Relief washes over us as we see the humble chapel built in the honor of St. Patrick. At the chapel, we pray and ask for forgiveness of our sins, reflecting on God and the glory of creation. So too do we reflect on the stories of how St. Patrick spent 40 days fasting at the summit, emulating Moses on Mount Sinai, and banished all the demons and snakes from Ireland. It is said when his fast ended, God gave him the right to judge all the people of Ireland at the last judgment. We'll stay here overnight to pray here. The journey down the mountain felt easier than the journey upward. The rigors of pilgrimage to Croagh Patrick are not for the faint-hearted, but St. Patrick persevered when he came to the summit eons ago. The least we could do is to try and follow example. We returned to the base of the mountain, changed people. As St. Patrick said, Christ with me, Christ before me. St. Patrick's breastplate is an Irish prayer traditionally attributed to St. Patrick, though its first attestation dates to several centuries after his lifetime. The famous part of the prayer is a repeated invocation of Jesus Christ. Christ with me, Christ before me, Christ behind me, Christ within me, Christ beneath me, Christ above me, Christ at my right, Christ at my left. Yeah, that's right. The Holy Ghost. Give me that Holy Ghost power. I haven't said that in a while in this series. As I traverse the boggy wetlands that connect by, party stumbles upon a moss-covered stone. Upon closer inspection, it identifies it with an ancient Brehan lost stone, inscribed with detailed rules about beekeeping. The stone, a relic from the time when honey was more valuable than gold, sparks a humorous debate in my party. Around just about the absurdity of laws governing the care of bees, while Nat ponders on the potential for smuggling honey. Tinderboy, however, seems to have developed a sudden fear of bees, much to the amusement of the others. What a sweet opportunity for honey heist, since I'm doing a bit of an intrigue here. Sweet success. The honey heist goes off without a hitch. The party celebrates with sweet meat, gaining us a bit of gold, prestige, and a tiny bit of intrigue lifestyle experience, since I'm into intrigue these days. Settlement is in transition, going towards integration. Slow. 9 is 3 to 5 every year, but now we'll talk about integration in just a moment, as I'm on my way back home. And also get that London Bridge built. A trade. Alchemical components is what he wanted. Down here in Southwark, this will be the site of the London Bridge. There have been bridges over the River Thames since time immemorial, but this one, made of mighty stone, stands grander than all prior. The churning currents below have led to the common acceptance that the bridge is for wise men to pass over, and for fools to pass under. For this holding, far less danger. In this county of Middlesex, this will give us more holding taxes, more development growth, popular opinion to go up, and as the holder of this holding, the city holder here, he gets cultural fascination progress up, legitimacy, and Croagh opinion up. This will take 8 years. Take a time to forge a hunt. The latest work of my Chancellor, Duke John of Brittany. This criminal rage court is like this place deals with the feelings of love and romance. It's probably good. The Empress of my chest. That scrumptious woman who charged me so. Where did that woman go? For her life is my life, and her life to be. As long as I'm with her, I'll ever be free. Drivel. I say that because, don't you know I'm an old woman and you are a young man? Have you no respect for the age difference? Get after him. And I was wounded. %6 chance I might die, 93% chance I'll get wounded, lose trade of wounded. As I said, every time at this point, if I die now, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I've really set the standards. Concentric castle construction complete. One more building to be built. Alright, let's get the upgrade to work. Does not have castle bailies. We're working on it. We're going to get that innovation soon. But until then, this will give you more cultural fascination progress, in addition to increasing the effectiveness and siege progress for the men-at-arms siege. This is one last building to upgrade, and we'll have this file complete. Coming on. The current phase is now integration. Thanks to a successful settlement phase, Greenland settlements are well connected with North Atlantic political and economic networks, thanks in part to the export of luxury goods, particularly walrus ivory. Meanwhile, peaceful relations with the native inhabitants also leads to expanded trade and cooperation. Greenland is thriving enough. In fact, there's also greater interest in exploring the lands beyond. However, all good things will have to come to an end. Greenland is still small, and vulnerable to societal shocks from political and economic changes elsewhere could bring about a subsistence phase. If these shocks are disruptive enough, then the settlements are unable to adapt. Greenland will instead slide to the marginalization phase. So, we gotta be careful. It's the shakes. Well, subsistence. You have to successful Great Wars hunt. Yeah. So anyways, the effects does is, for those involved, cheaper mercenary costs, levy reinforcement rate goes up. Promote culture proceeds faster within the struggle region. Opinion of different cultures, culture fascination progress further increased. Interfaith marriages, different faiths. So instead of -3 to 5, it's -5 to 5 for resilience and networks. For those involved, when taking a decision to organize hunting trips, etc., chances of fail hunt as well as hunt's negative impact to resilience is less than compared to the subsistence and marginalization phase instead of settlement, which is why I've been avoiding that in the first place. So, when taking a decision to hunt and etc., the minimum maximum goal you can earn is more than the subsistence and marginalization. If you lose gold during an expedition, the amount is reduced compared to those two phases. The cooldown time decisions to support Greenland and Vinland have been reduced from 10 to 5 years. Excellent. Minus 10% yearly chance that the outposts or colonies will fail. 20 plus a chance of success when taking a decision to organize a hunting trip. Monthly prestige, holding tax up, and economic growth up. So this means now, I mean, yeah, we're still going to have to wait 10 years since we did that recently, but soon afterwards, things will get easier. Has to be before the month of May that you get to do these expeditions to North Sator, since it doesn't take much now. Oh, France. As much as I would like to travel again at my old age. Queen Stephanie's composite bow. I mean, I recall we have another bow like that. An English longbow. They're functionally the same, so it's too expensive. Get rid of that. Oh, yes. I just remembered. Ireland. Hey, you want this back? Because I just only wanted to do that pilgrimage for once. Here. It's yours again. And as for Dublin, we're putting an Englishman there. Pizza de Normandie. You're not due to inherit any title, so yeah, why not? I'll give you Dublin, as you are a member of my dynasty. And so that way, as you are strong and shrewd. There we go. There you go, holiness. I'm getting tired of this pirate bullshit. We gotta do something about that right now with trade policies. Expand the fleet size. I mean, yeah, maybe. Although I'd rather do other things. But ups the siege weapon effectiveness. I also haven't done these in a while. The personal agenda and all that. There it comes first. I'm picking that. Now for holding management. Let's figure study with the monks. Nope. Now it takes a little bit longer, especially the London Bridge. Realm Directive. Oh boy, take your pick. Given that you want to improve realm infrastructure and overall productivity. Damn! Corruption scandal. Nice, stewardship's taking a beating. And the big one, royal decrees. Go for a unified legal system. We got it. Any remaining vestiges of regional autonomy have been eliminated in the unified legal system. This success suppresses local courts, ensuring political unity and diminishing sources of potential conflict. So, even faster culture fascination progress. I find that most attractive. Mazaban Takon. Gordon Boar's tusks. Left behind it. Oh, you got twins. Nice. Shazade and Yasaman. Hope you're still following my directive. Like to see the continued spread of the faith just to show of how diverse we really can be inside England. Although we have Muslims, we have Jewish, and now we have Hindus. I wish we could get a Buddhist, but I have to travel to Afghanistan again to find that. Another assassination attempt thwarted. I forgot that I was going to do that hunting expedition to Nod Sator, but at least now, instead, let's invest. Wait, you're getting Greater Normandy, so Bruges will stay with us. As the county will go to Thomas, the heir that I named, who only has one child so far. And that's for spearmen. Blacksmiths. Regimental ground station and arms damage. Station and arms damage. Yeah, we could at least try to toughen you guys up. Let's do that. Remember, this is where we station our French and veterans. Since we do have barracks, and then I plan on giving them regimental grounds there. They'll build blacksmiths. We may have to move the Varangian veterans to Bruges. Visiting the local market, a merchant from faraway land catches my attention. Club closer, Your Majesty. Marvel at the treasures never before seen as that. I had to watch my back to get these beauties out. I did. Never sleep with both eyes closed. Merchant might have more to give than the morrows from afar. This should cover both trinket and information. That gives me a thought. Look at late medieval. Is there another innovation that will give you another building slot, or that'll be it? I'm just looking. I don't think so. No, no, it doesn't. Thomas, what the flying? Oh, God, how could you do this, Roger? Roger! And now Queen Alice of Serbia runs things. He had cancer at the age of 35. Oh, that's a double whammy. You know what this means, right? John, you will hold Wales and Ireland when I die. And then eventually you'll have Serbia for yourself. Although I'm sure it also includes Catholic Serbia. Yeah, Catholic Serbia will go to John. The double title. Let me find just someone suitable for them. Aha! The genius. Oh, intelligent, but you get the idea. You will. I know it's far away, but think of it. Great minds think alike for the patrol. Oh. My work is done, exactly as it would be. I heard the scorn of my detractors. They certainly would fail when I swarm out, but I proved them wrong. The voices of my doubters have changed, and now they grant me the honor they once thought was beyond my reach. A new day is upon us, and a stronger Britannia stands ready to meet it. See how cheap these holdings are built now. 20. This is about as low as it can get. I'll do that later on. Duchess Guild building in London. This is not a raw armor, that's late medieval. For the rest of this. Whew. The amount of money I can spend now in the game and all that. Wish you well, Alice. Rule Serbia well. In the name of my dynasty. Got about 3 years till I get a claim on the Earldom of North Riding. Going on a recital contest. Good luck with that. Queen Alice's Coronation. I mean, I got nothing better to do. I'll see if I could try to get there, because traveling to Serbia is a long way. Yep. Oh, he built a mining settlement. Old battle site from long ago. Again, never been into that part of the world before. But I'll try to get there. Fast as I can. And to train my knights. We'll worry about the other destinations later, okay? Just want to get there first. Just want to visit the battle site. Then to there. Yeah, be doing a little bit of exploring of the lands that I am unfamiliar with. I'll even travel through the lands of Moravia and Bohemia. All these damn kingdoms. Mining, mining, mining. Mining settlement. Yeah, why not just go on a trip to visit these landmarks before going home? When you're on your way home. You built the legendary statue? That was during the time of Stephanie, right? When she cleared the land. But we never had time to build a statue. And now that statue's built. Amazing. You'd love to see that. Okay, let's go. I got nothing better to do. I'll go see my granddaughter, Alice of Serbia. Alright, Catherine, what do you got? Master Diplomat. Emerging Prodigy. You see? You got a lot of potential, young lady. I could send you out to the west. And you might. In fact, find somebody else to send them off. Because I wish I could ennoble you right now. Because you've got what it takes to, you know, like it's for inheritance, and think about future generations of like children getting it. Yeah, we got it. Okay. You got any grandchildren? That's something to think. You still have one. Anne has survived just being sickly. I'm happy with that. You're both children, hand it over. Because that money's going for construction projects and murdered by Piety. Guards, you're gonna pay the penalty. And when we send you back, that penalty is gonna be in the form of you've been ransomed. Ah, crap. Walter, you're gonna be the one. I don't have time for discussions like this. I gotta go see my granddaughter. Slow. I mean, don't you know the Grand Old Lady of Britannia is coming to Serbia? Get on after him. And I've been wounded again. Card of perfume. Okay. Just passed through to Bavaria. Held by the heretic queen. The scent hits me before I see its source. A rich and dark sweetness carries on the mountain breeze. Through the trees, I spot a clearing where Ivko, a weathered beekeeper, tends to the dozens of ovens, arranged in neat rows. Corinthian honey, the old man says. On a product approach. Dark is the finest in all the empire. The bees here feed on alpine flowers and forest blossoms, he explains. Producing honey so prized that it travels to the tables of bishops and princes. Obviously, a taste of from the wounded spoon is extraordinary. Complex and aromatic with hints of pine and wildflower. Walter eyes nervously, but the Greek keeper moves among them calm assurance. They know me, he says. So we stay calm, don't know you mean no harm. I'd like to purchase some of that remarkable honey that you got there. The beekeeper fills the clay pot with dark honey, scented with wax. The price is steep, but this is no ordinary sweetener. This is Corinthian honey, worthy of any noble table. We stopped to rest one night at a tavern while sitting in a corner peacefully enjoying some Corinthian music. Continental music. The door barge is open and a large silhouette appears. Night swaggers in and the atmosphere immediately changes. Few bow heads are revered, some swoon, and the barkeep immediately pours the apparently famous night free drinks. Is being a knight really so special here? I could be like that if I train. Plus 20 prowess. Though I'm too old to be doing this sort of thing. I'm an old woman, got nothing left in me anymore. Okay. You got it out easy, Pete. Trait. Mr. Walter. Thomas, got another child. We already have enough Alice's and Eleanor. The Zemania embroidery. As I traverse the rolling hills of Machava, my attention is drawn to the group of women sitting in the shade of a large beech tree. They are practicing the ancient craft of Zemania embroidery, a traditional form of needlework unique to this region. The intricate patterns woven with blue thread on white cloth represents a variety of natural and geometric motifs said to bring protection and prosperity. Micah, the eldest among them, notices my entrance and invites me to join. She offers you to teach the basic stitches and patterns of the Zemania embroidery, assuring you that it's a skill worth learning. You could even create a small piece of your own under her guidance. I'm a jig, I'll give it a try. 100% chance of natural talent. Under Micah's guidance, I managed to create a small but beautiful piece of the Zemania embroidery. It's not perfect, but it's a start, and I've already earned some respect from the women. So I become the owner of this artifact here. It's just a small piece of it. Handcrafted by the women of Machava, me included. No, 6% chance of that, 93% chance of wounded. I live. Get the blacksmith. Perhaps we can increase the damage of it. And if you go further, my goodness. Think about it. It's like, yeah, we're doing it for the spearmen, but I may have to move the Varangian veterans to Bruges. To make them even more deadlier than it already needed to be. Alright, I've finally arrived at Stari Turgovista. Love or hate the Queen, none can deny the feeling of importance. The Grand Lady of Britannia is here. The Empress is here. And Queen Jagoda of Croatia. Despite the fact they fought a war over, but yet she still had the guts to pretend. I mean, after all, fellow Catholic. What happened down there in Sena Gora was a territorial. Must be the de jure. I mean, I'm here to bear legitimacy. Bear witness, excuse me. Yeah, we know that how this works, so... And who else is here? Bistrina, Catholic Serbian. It's a Courtier of us. I wouldn't be surprised if Alice decided to adopt Serbian culture for herself one day. As daylight wanes, I see Queen Radegun. Oh, she has seen the light. She's become Catholic. Praise the Lord. Acknowledge not the smiles and steps. Fine day has been, would you not say, Alice? I certainly thank God for these blessings. We Catholics revere His teachings to cause pride. Take a deep breath before continuing theological research. Coronation is no place to discuss these matters. I'm just here to see my granddaughter. There she is, Bistrina points our host This is our chance, Bistrina says. We are here to stand witness in support of coordination. It is only fair that we get something in on time. Hey, we do it in the presence of God. I'm just here to get a lot of piety, so I could buy claims later. Against the coordination of my granddaughter, Queen Alice, pouring all given minor oaths, thanks to invitations, pledges of fealty, or support. Soon it shall be my turn. I must stand over the crowd. Must I use my brief audience to convince the creed of my worthiness? Nods red crown, created by that. That is so long ago. I mean, what is your crown? Alice's regnal crown. So apparently they never had one to begin with. So I will say that every coronation and legitimacy. Her legacy shall be immortalized in verse. Empress Alice, Queen Alice calls from V with a big smile. Next stands another guest, a governor that I'm not a queen. This is Governor Dalibor. Good. Now let's introduce him. I believe you two would find much common ground. Nature, the charm or charisma, perhaps. The Governor Dalibor, the Magistrate of Dice of Visegrad, Slovene. Oh, he seems very polite. I'll give him that. Gotta have connections from here to Serbia in some fashion. Good Empress, I turn around to find Queen Jagoda next to Nervous. You know I cherish you, would bring me great joy to help you. I can offer you the first of my best men, Anders, a well-accomplished antiquary. May this serve as the start of between friendship of our houses. Anders Bang. Yeah, why aren't you my court chaplain? Or patriarch or whatever. But you'll be the high honor. You'll be good for something. The courtyard of Rashka shines with a golden glow. Breeze shakes the leaves as gesture glow. Alice, I turn around to find my friend Dalibor calling my name. White smile practically trots us. Friend, it's so good to see you. I see there's a nice separate commandarius in here. Gain a reveler trait. Perfect boost. Now we see to measure this queen. Alan of Serbia, the Archbishop. We know how this text looks like. Remember, she has more detractors than supporters. I mean, we all had to come and bear witness. This is Alice's Ragnar crown. Alice stands by herself around the crown's over. My rule be remembered by those who come after the start of the golden age for Serbia. Zivio. Alright, it's feasting time. My Highness, Your Highness, Governor Ferdinand of Machava, his distinct daughter following him to the table. You must meet this most interesting man. He's brought delightful and exotic Saracen cakes brought back on his adventures on the crusade. You made from the crusade of Serbia. Are you saying you found hashish in Serbia? What the unless you got it from some other crusade that I was not privy to know of. But I'll say, well, what could hurt? Unconserve any etiquette. Magistrate Nicodemus Shumadia slaps me on the back. I mean it, he exclaims. I'll do anything you ask me. Ask anything at all. Ask me, and it's done. I could smell the alcohol in Nicodemus' breath, but the promise was noted by every guest present. Gotta recook on him. If I need a potential agent, if I'm gonna do a plot related to Serbian affairs over there. Empress Alice, my acquaintance, Lord Ivan, calls my name. My dear uncle Dalibor speaks fondly of you. Hey, brother says, take a sip of this. Wow, marvelous. I've been looking forward to feasting with you. Lord Ivan of the LA. Well, let's toast to Dalibor in the one minute. What stars ordinary takes to exceptional what takes to the presence of Earl Walter. We all spoke all evening about all manner of subjects. Things we have a lot in common. Perhaps. Can't listen to Kara. Let's see. Kara reveals all manner of things. Distracted by trying to get one last drop from her cups. Believes how careful it is. Once her eyes start to go. I'm only rambling. It's not true, but anyway. Carvings. Lover's secret. Woohoo! Who could that be? So I could wind her, so I could make her go land into prison. We could all tell Thomas had too much to drink. Though he insisted on showing us how sober he was. Sipping rising from the sea was proved too much for him. Now I'm spattering its stinking vomit. Huh, what a show you put on, son. Ha! Okay. Strengthen the house is Alice's oath. Queen Alice of Serbia's oath. The two Alices. Alice of Britannia and Alice of Serbia. And now we're gonna do some traveling and all that. But first, invest. And boy, oh boy, we got a lot to invest here in Bruges. Get to work. We do have a royal architect, do we? Yeah, we do. like to have mastered a horse again. Barbarunio. 1 second. This is related to this. Simply for the sake of it. Alright, meanwhile, in Zatibor, as I traverse the rugged terrain of the Rashka Mountains, which I'm over here, I stumble on an isolated hut, nestled among the vineyards. Living there is a friendly hermit, Vuk, who greets you with open arms. As a former Ventier, he prides himself on his collection of fine wines and fruit brandies, all produced from local vineyards. Obviously, it tastes claiming his spirits are on the finest of all of Rashka, and begins to share the stories of the ancient winemaking traditions of the region. These tales are as rich as complex as the flavors of the beverages he offers. I like to purchase a few bottles for myself. Managed to negotiate a fair price and add fine spirits to my collection. A flask of fruit brandy. Fruit brandy from Rashka, made by a talented hermit. At least we got a honey pot that'll take its place. Fix that old armor. The fog cleaving blade. As I traverse the misty hills near Vidin, a clamor of metal against metal leads you to a small ramshackle forge. Inside, eccentric blacksmith Tibor is hard at work. With a wild look in his eyes, he claims to have perfected a craft of forging blades so sharp it can cut through the thickest fog and reveal the elusive Vidin ghost, set to haunt these lands. The legend of the ghost is well known, a tale to keep children from wandering into the mists. Could there be any truth in his words? Let's test this fog cleaving blade. 100% chance. Fog will be gone. The blade slices through the fog of east, impressing in the party. It's a weapon, but it does not give you martial or prowess increase, but martial lifestyle. Something for the collection. Tibor, how'd you like to join me? Ever since entering Crusader, I've been treated much like an animal in this particular garden. People stare in amazement at the mirror where I speak and carry myself. As I make my way through, I'm suddenly approached by a particular enthusiastic woman who, unlike the rest of the crowd, seems to speak English. My word, it's so true. An English empress here of all places. I've long admired English customs and even learned Anglic in my own time. What an honor this is. Well, teach me about your people. I'm always one for learning foreign languages. Despot of Wallachia. Golden veins of Russia, Montana. The mountains of Russia, Montana have been scarred by centuries of mining. Their flanks riddled with dark tunnels that burrow deep into the earth. Alice watches as a line of dust-covered miners emerges from one such shaft, their faces blackened, their eyes squinting at the sudden daylight. A foreman approaches in surprised deference. Recognizing the noble bearing, even beneath the travel-stained clothes, he gestures towards the mining works of obvious pride. The wooden scaffolding, the water channels that power crushing wheels, the armed guards who watch over the precious cargo. The gold of Russia Mountains has funded kingdoms, he says, holding up a small nugget that catches my mind. Would your lordship care to see what fortunes are born? Descend under mines and inspect the operations. 100% chance for a quality education. The descent is treacherous but illuminating. I note the efficient use of slave labor, the clever drainage systems, the way miners follow gold veins with almost supernatural instinct. The foreman is impressed by her questions and shared secrets yield optimization that few nobles could ever learn. Give it to the knight. Give me a guide. Guide, dang it. Frisia offers tribute. I've always wanted to make Frisia, that weakened kingdom, into a tributary. I mean, it does border with us on both sides, so be willing to accept that. This gives me monthly income, the gold income while at war. Independent rulers will not look at me highly for this. So, you're under our protection. You got it. Not the suzerain. But we're in some sort of deal. The stone walls of the Zabor Abbey rise from the hilltop like the crown upon the land, its bell tower visible for miles in every direction. My party sought shelter within its ancient walls, and the abbot himself offered to show you the monastery's greatest treasure, its library. The scriptorium smells of ilium and ink, candle wax, and centuries. Monks bend over their desks in silent devotion, copying texts with exquisite care, but the collection itself that draws my eye. Shelf after shelf of bound manuscripts. Some sold, their bindings crumble with a touch. We hold the documents from the time of Great Moravia, Abbot explains with quite right. Writings in the Egalitarian script, letters from Cyril and Methodius themselves, oral tradition holds. The oldest records of the kingdom rest beneath this roof. Study the ancient manuscripts, scholarly interests. Wisdom of the ages. Hours pass unnoticed. I pore over the text. I predict my grandfather's grandfather. I decipher Gogolithic prayers, read accounts of long dead kings, traced the evolution of law and faith. When I finally emerged, blinking into daylight, my mind overflows with the weight of centuries. You know, Great Moravia is still a country. William Tatra, there have been arguments for the past several hours now as we trudge along the road. At this point, oh, you know how this idiotic argument started. I'd rather not get involved. On the other hand, some of the others in his entourage are giving me looks, sounding to tell me that as an empress I should do something. I can convince these two fools to shut up. Legendary adventure. For what reason exactly? industrious. Brothers from Thessalonica. The monastery of bells toll as Alice's party approached a small church nestled in the Moravian hills. A gathering of villagers stands outside. Listen to the elderly monk named Lubomir, who reads from a particular book. Letters strange and angular, unlike any other manuscript. These are the words of Saints Cyril and Methodius. The monk explains when he knows his troubles. 2 centuries past, they came from Thessalonica to bring the favor of our people. Give us these letters. A Godlike script, so I pray to God in our own tongue. It holds up the book. Few copies survive. The Roman Church prefers Latin, but here in Moravia, we remember. Villagers cross themselves at any mention of the Holy Brothers. Some touch small relics hung around their necks. Fragments said to be from the saints' journeys. A debate between Latin and Slavonic authority still simmers beneath the surface of the Moravian faith. Saints brought aside, I shall compose a verse for them, as a poet, song for the saints. Stands before the gathered villagers and recites the improvised verse honoring Cyril and Methodius, their journey from Thessalonica, their gift of letters, their triumph of Rome. The words flow with genuine feeling. Lubomir weeps openly, and the villagers applaud. This moment will be remembered in the village for generations. Diplomacy. That's negotiations. If you want to have an alliance with somebody else, well, think about it. Oh crap, Walter. There goes another one of my caravan masters. Tatra, the Avar. I don't remember how you joined us, unless memory escapes me. Yeah, Dresden. I believe we still have an excellent physician. Yeah, we do. And how old are you? Similar age. No, we're all fine here. We're all fine here. Here's a donation. Ditch. Keep building. Temple building construction costs reduced. Visit Frisia. Who pays tribute to us now? Wash your damn hands. I'm often prone to sickness. But not. The local captain and a few of his officers greet me as my entourage in the military camps up back. I quickly dismount, eager to inspect the local barracks, positively brimming activity. I nod and appreciate the organized chaos I'm observing. Now, what would your majesty want to do next? What can I expect of me? You should join me. What do you think? Choked on it. Take it a detour. Charcoal burns. Deep in the Ardennes forest, smoke rises from the conical mounds at the earth-covered wood. Charcoal burners skins. These suit blackened men live apart from the sight for months at a time, tending their slow fowls, emerging only to sell their wares to the smithies that hunger for fuel. Radwell, the eldest of the burners, obviously is seated by his fires. Night falls over the forest, face so blackened that with suit his eyes shine unnaturally bright enough fireline. You are brave to travel these woods after dark, he says quietly. The wild hunt right through here. I heard the horns myself. Wotan's hunt. Chasing the souls of the dead across the sky. He glances at the darkness beyond the fire. If they say you see them, you must throw yourself face down and pray when they pass you. We should press down on runners and spend the night here. A hermit emerges from the vegetation like a stone arch of cathedral. On its entrance, a small wooded table on a stall. Someone left a lantern burning on it. Careful, your majesty. Tatrap holds up his arm in front of my chest. Debutantes in his hands. You're quick to make accusations. A dimly illuminated figure stands at the entrance gate. I'm merely a hermit. You will carry the title of Empress. Hermit would be a great addition to my entourage, would it? Push through. Damn insects. Where's my hermit? Prince Bishop Patricio gives us a warm reception when we come to his keep. I was going to see the chocolate on number of Ethnicities. My dear Empress Alice, it's such an honor you to welcome at my steps in innocence. What are you doing with my hermit? Why don't we let him decide? 100% chance I convince him to stay with me, and he'll be my garden hermit. War Profiteer. The Walloons, quite some passed through this region. We stopped by a couple of taverns along the way. Not every stop we afforded us to witness some of the local music and dances. My entourage found it quite charming, if not exciting. William, Francis, even tried learning some of the local dances. He seemed to be pretty good at it. I'll learn myself. Organize a search party right now. Almost home. Alright. We can end this episode right here. Because this next episode we gotta start making our move towards Scotland, as we've not done any type of war. Because there is no way that they'll accept a vassalage of any kind. Unless you do some convincing. Like say, hey, how about a compliment? And then they'll say, nay. Nay, nay, nay. But I know that first I will be getting that, unless you want to be vassalized too, but I'd rather have you conquered because that is an interloper and we need it involved. I prefer things involved, so that we can contribute more to all this, as we'll look at this one more time as a reminder. See, we're getting there. And a long-term goal for the near end of the series, as I said, I want to go for regional integration. For as long as we're in the integration phase, not any other phase, otherwise we'll be delayed. But we gotta get these up, and I think it's doable. At least I hope. If luck will have it, and all that and more. So, we'll see you on the next episode as the reign of Alice the Scholar of Britannia continues, as she's likely expected to live up into her 80s. So, even I speculate, is she going to be the next Stephanie, or will she be better than Stephanie? I doubt it. But only time will tell. And maybe I'll be around long enough to go to university one more time. To Cambridge, in fact. But until then, so long for now.